What's up, beautiful people? It's your boy Joshua Martin, and I have a quick video I want to show you how to make a LUT. LUT means lookup table in Photoshop and importing it into your Premiere to color correct or color grade your work. Now let me tell you, there's a difference between color correction and color grading. Color correction is simply getting your film or video clips back to a natural looking picture, natural looking profile, because if you shoot in RAW, you're going to come out with a very flat image. Let me show you what a flat image looks like. This was shot on S-Log2, and this is a very flat image. So normally you would do a color correction before you jump in doing the color grading. Color grading is more artistic. You get a more you can play around with different tones and things like that, but you want to do like a two-step. You do your color correction and then your color grading, kind of like what you do in photography. You get your images to a normal or correct exposure or things like that, contrast, and then you do all your coloring and afterwards. So always a two-step. And keep in mind, color grading is one step in the cinematic process. It's not the only thing that's going to make your work cinematic. It comes from, the lens you choose, the story you write, the way you shoot it, and then color grading. It's a total package. It's not just one thing. So kind of watch out for that. A lot of people on YouTube like to say, oh, how to make your video cinematic. Well, there's a lot more components between cinematic, but I digress. This little tip I'm going to show you real quick. It's pretty simple. I like this because I think about photography firsthand before I think about video. So when it comes to color grading, I ran into a wall where my photo mind is trying to color grade for a video rather than photo. I was trying to color grade for video. So this gave me a better way to understand how to translate those tools to photography, to video, cinematography. So enough of the rambling. Let me just show you real quick. So some of the clips that I've been shooting for our next marketing video. The first step we're going to take stills from each of these two frames here. So I'm gonna grab a still here, and that's how you do it, the little icon camera there, and I'm gonna tell it where it's gonna go. Let me go quickly to my Premiere folder, project, and I'm gonna just add a color grade folder here. And then all my stills are gonna live in here. I'll do it for this one, hit OK, and I'll do it for this one. And those who want to know, this was shot on a Sony FS5 with a Zine 35mm. All these shots were shot on that. So, okay. Oh, and it was S-Log2 as well. All right, so we're in Photoshop now. I'm gonna load those 3 stills that we just took. Color grade. Oh, not thumbnail. Color grade. There we go. So now we're in Photoshop now. I loaded my images, and let's just do a quick and easy color correction. Basically, you can use any tool in here to color your images. So let me just start with adding some contrast. I don't know why it's down there. Let me just bring this up here. So I'm gonna mess around with my mid-tones real quick and just mess around with some brightness. Like, keep in mind though, this is like a JPEG, so you'll start to see some degrading of your image. But let me just make a group. So yeah, so keep that in mind. Okay, we got some contrast going on. Still a little flat, so needs to bring a little color in here. So let me just add a curve adjustment layer. Let's see, do I just want to add another type of contrast? No, that's pretty. And what's nice about this, you can really have control. That's why I kind of like doing it in Photoshop. You have a lot of control of every little detail you add to your image. I'm sure you have the ability to get really detailed in your color grading in Premiere. I personally just feel really comfortable using Photoshop to color grade this. And you see I'm just adding a little bit of this. I'm kind of like doing a combination of color grading and color correction, which is not ideal, but this is just a test. So I definitely would suggest you guys will definitely get out there. Let's see with some vibrance. Definitely just get out there and play around with it. Like this is really cool to learn. There was a video I did find. They were trying to do it through Lightroom, and they're trying to, the guy who made the plugin for Lightroom was charging $10. I'm like, I mean $10 is not expensive, but do I really want to spend $10 on something like this? And then I started doing some more research, and I came across this. I'm like, whoop, I'm doing it for free. So okay, enough of my rambling. So as you can see, there's the before and there's the after. This is gonna be really rough. Let me just do this one real quick too. I'm just going to just copy over the settings and then make my adjustments on that. It's not bad. It's a little weird coloring there because I got some purples in there earlier. But let's just save these. Next step, you want to go up to File and then Export. And then all the way here, it's going to say Color Lookup Tables. Remember, that's what LUT stands for. Color Lookup Table. Every time I say LUT, it sounds like I'm saying some type of slur, like a really bad slur. So the different formats here, ICC profiles refer to printing. I don't know what CPS stands for. Cube and 3LD is what the files that Premiere uses. So I'm just going to just check off these two because we don't need them. We're not printing anything, and I don't know what this is, but these two are fine. So then I'm gonna hit high, and then we'll hit OK, and just tell it where to go. Let me just make an extra photo so I don't have to keep these all jumbled up. Let me just call this grade, and boom, that was weird. Okay, let's do that again for the other ones. Let me just step and repeat. Go to File, go to Export, go to Color Lookup Tables, and then okay, it kept everything. Great, so let's hit OK. And then let's save it back in the grade folder. Bang, bang. So we hit OK. Let's go back here. I have just 2 tabs. I've been toying around with my workflow in Premiere. So editing and coloring. That's all I got right now. So let's come over here, and there's 2 ways to do this, to import them. So you go here to import LUT, or you go to where the creative and then Look. And this is going to be the same browser. The Look has a lot more of these, but I hate using these. Anyway. Let's go back to basic. Let's go to browse. And then from browse, you're going to open up the folder, or you got to navigate to the folder that you have your LUTs in. And we're going to use let's just use Cube. Is this the right one? Let's see. Let's go to clip 24. Let's use the Cube. And look at that. We have the color. Wow, it's really magenta. We have the color grade and the color correction right here. Oh yeah. Yeah, I was pretty stoked when this happened. Yeah, that's really cool. And let's see how the playback is. It's playing back in full. It should be fine. Look at that. That looks pretty good, right? Oh, I think so. Yeah, so I mean, hey, it is another step, but I feel more comfortable using Photoshop. And I've always wanted to have full control of making LUTs. And I feel like a lot of these things in here, I mean, of course I'm going to sit here and go through them and learn how to use them, but I don't know, it just feels a little bit more freeing doing it in Photoshop. Cause yeah, it just feels good for me. All right, let's actually just do this one too. Let's do 8. Oh yeah, I guess that's it. But yeah, that's terrible grading, y'all. You don't want any of this. But like I said, it's just for example. And let's let that play. On, off. Okay, that's it right there. Couple things you need to keep in mind. Definitely, color grading does not always save your work. It is important to get the proper exposure, the proper color temperature, and everything like that. Make sure you do that first before you kind of like try to dive in and throw some colors, because you're going to get a lot of problems later on. So I'm learning that cinematography is from start to finish. The way you plan out things is the way you plan out everything is going to have those results. So definitely learn how to get a decent exposure first. Color grading will not save you at all times. 2, so I just showed you a really shortcut way to add these, but if you want to add these to like the list of LUTs that you have here, let's quickly go over here to Premiere. Let's go to Applications, and then let's scroll through up here. Bang, bang. All right, you want to right click on the app if you're on a Mac, and then show package contents. And then you want to kind of navigate through all of this. Okay, then you want to drop them into your limericks here, and then you're going to see LUTs. And then now you can actually add the LUTs that you want or delete. And I'm actually going to delete majority of these right now. Not right now, but later on after this video, you know. Okay, yeah. And also keep in mind, when you're color grading and you're just adding it to this option here, notice that this highlighted area says your clip here is just focusing on this clip. So if we were to highlight, if we were to add, not highlight, if we were to add our color grade to this clip, it's not going to add it to this clip, even though it's the same, just because we're singled out. But if you actually go to master and then add it, let me delete this. If you go to master, make sure we're on master, and then add it, it's going to add it on both clips now because it's the same clip. Hope that made sense. All right, y'all, that's my little spiel. Make sure you go do your own research, see if this is going to be effective for you. I'm going to toy with it a little bit more. I like it because it puts me back in my photo mentality to color grade things. So yeah, you guys have a good one, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.